All right, part two of dehydration for sourdough starters coming at you. Get ready. All right, so this is the starter. You can see it has nice bubbles and it's crowned, and we can just slide down this way a little bit. We'll see the bubbles. Okay, so for the intents purpose of this, we're gonna go ahead and put it on this parchment paper for this video, and we're gonna go ahead and start doing the dehydration portion. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of like go ahead and drop some of this out on there. I had to go ahead and put it in the oven with the oven light on because it's been pretty cold and it wasn't reacting the way it should be reacting, so it was taking a long time. And the steam was working, but it wasn't working good enough. So we're gonna go ahead and just gotta spread this out really thin as possible because we don't want it to be fat. It'll take way too long to dry. I'm gonna go ahead and rest this actually I'm gonna put this in the dehydrator, but I'm not going to use the dehydrator. I want it to air dry. So we're gonna spread it out as much as we can. Sometimes working with parchment paper isn't always that great. It's not that fun to work with. So you can see what I'm doing. So it is a challenge. If anybody wants to do this, just be prepared, have patience, because it's not always that easy, because this is a sticky substance. Alright, so we're going to add some more. And yes, this is going to make a little bit of a mess. I mean, I'm not the most neatest person sometimes, but I'll clean this mess up. If I don't, my wife will let me know about it. But I will definitely make sure it's cleaned up. So I don't know how many trays this is I'm gonna end up by doing. Really, I'm just doing this for the video. I'm probably gonna save this batch, but anything that I don't, I might just do 2 trays and that's it. Because if I want to use yeast for bread, I'll use the dry yeast for the bread. But hopefully that's what you're looking at for that one. Let's go ahead and move it aside. Let's put it in that one. And again, like I said, you just want to make sure you go really thin. Excuse me. I've been dealing with a sinus infection, which doesn't help much. Second. Excuse me. I know you can hear me cough. But anyway, so we're gonna get this spread out nice and thin, because this is gonna take like 24 to 48 hours to dry up, because you want it to dry. And then once it's dried, you can go ahead and stick it in your food processor and grind it down to a powder. And then once we grind it down to a powder, the next thing we do is after that is I'll show you how to rehydrate it, which is really simple, because it's just yeast. It's just like dry yeast, like that you would buy in the store in a bottle. You would just add your water and stuff to it, and then you're pretty much so on your way. Now, here's one thing that I'm going to tell you guys. Now, I've been reading up on it, And I'm, like I said, I'm not new to, I'm new to doing sourdough. I'm still kind of practicing, trying to get it right. But yeast and stuff I've worked with. I made bread before, regular bread, Italian bread, or pizza dough, which is pretty much so simpler going through all of this process. But one of the things I was looking into and I was learning is the discard. Now, some people are going to argue with me, and that's fine. It doesn't need to be an argument. It's just from what I'm reading scientifically, mathematically. If you're making yeast, okay, and basically it's just flour and water, that's all it is. So then you're fermenting it, and that's what you're doing. Now, if you read up on this and you Google it, it'll tell you to use discard the discard the flour and then refeed it. But if you Google it and ask, do you have to? It's gonna tell you that you don't. But the reason, and I didn't see anybody say this in there yet. All the sourdough people that are making their bread. I haven't seen anybody tell you this. The reason for the discard is control. It controls the growth and how much you're gonna get, and how how much you're gonna grow. Okay, so if you bake a lot, you're gonna want to make it grow, and then that's basically it. I'm not gonna use it anymore. I'm just gonna go ahead and put this aside so it can dry. But if you bake a lot, you're gonna take your discard, put it into another jar, and then you're gonna refeed your original starter. And you can keep doing that, discard. And you can use that discard for other stuff, pancakes, cakes, cookies, whatever, right? That's cool. But you really don't have to throw it away or discard it or whatever you have. You can just keep feeding it with equal amounts. So if you have whatever in it, say you started out with 400 grams, as long as you add, if you add like say 50 grams of flour with 50 grams of water to your original 400, you should be okay feeding it. Now, for me, I wouldn't do 50-50. If the discard is already kind of like soft, I would do like maybe 50-25, or maybe 75 or 100 and then 50. But as long as you can control it, you know what your growth rate is going to be. So if your growth rate is going to be a lot and you're using a smaller jar, then yeah, you might want to discard it into something else. But you can use multiple jars and multiple discards and then give it away or cook with it. I'm not doing that. So this is really, I'm actually just doing this for purposes of people wanting to know if they can dehydrate it. We're going to show you how to dehydrate it, and then we're going to show you how to rehydrate it. And that's the end of this video. Good luck, and I'll be back with the other portion. See you in a few days.